Welcome back to our channel US Coin 69, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The United States has an incredibly rich history, and one of the most iconic symbols of that history is the American coinage system. Among the many coins in circulation, one of the most recognizable and cherished by collectors is the Lincoln 1-cent penny. In this video, we are going to take a deep dive into the history of the Lincoln penny, specifically the 1966 version, and explore what makes it so valuable. Stick around till the end to find out how much this particular penny is worth today, as it might surprise you. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin became a permanent part of American currency and has remained largely unchanged in design. The coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that has become synonymous with the penny itself. However, there's more to the story than just the iconic imagery. In 1966, the penny saw some minor changes in its composition and production. At the time, the U.S. Mint faced significant challenges due to a rise in the cost of copper, which was the primary material used in the production of pennies. The Mint was forced to consider alternate materials for the pennies to reduce production costs. While this did not immediately change the design of the penny, it did lead to significant changes in the way coins were made in the following years. But what makes the 1966 penny so special and valuable to collectors? The answer lies in its rarity. You see, many pennies from the 1960s were produced in large quantities, but only a small fraction of these coins were struck with certain unique characteristics that set them apart. For the 1966 Lincoln penny, the most valuable coins are those that were minted with special features or were struck during particular conditions. These can include things like die errors or other rare minting anomalies. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1966 penny is the error coin. These error coins can be produced in a variety of ways. Sometimes, a coin can be struck twice or have the wrong design or even a double die. These types of mistakes are rare, and because they are so unusual, they often fetch significant amounts of money when they hit the auction block. While most 1966 pennies are relatively common, the rarer ones are what bring excitement to collectors. The coins with certain flaws, such as a double die or a unique minting error, are the ones that really stand out in the numismatic community. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these anomalies, as they are the ones that can truly increase in value over time. So, what is the actual worth of a 1966 Lincoln penny in today's market? Well, as with any collectible, the value is determined by several factors, including its rarity, condition, and the level of demand from collectors. A typical 1966 penny in circulated condition is worth only a few cents, the same as any regular penny you might find in your pocket change. However, when it comes to rarer, error-struck versions, that's when things get interesting. The most valuable 1966 pennies are those that were produced with unique flaws or errors that make them stand out from the rest. These coins can fetch astronomical amounts. In fact, there are stories of 1966 pennies being sold for amounts far higher than you might expect. If you happen to find one of these rare pennies in your possession, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what's the exact value of one of these rare 1966 pennies? Well, after years of tracking sales and auction results, it turns out that a 1966 Lincoln penny in perfect condition with a rare minting error can be worth as much as $125,000. Yes, you heard that right. $125,000. That's right. This seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a life-changing sum of money for the lucky collector who comes across it. But to sum it all up, while most 1966 Lincoln pennies are worth just 1 cent, the rare error-struck versions of this coin can command incredible sums at auctions. Whether you are an avid coin collector or just happen to stumble upon a 1966 penny in your spare change, you never know what might be hiding in your collection. Always keep an eye out for those rare coins, as they can sometimes be worth far more than their face value. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about rare coins and the world of numismatics. You never know. You might just discover your next fortune. Top 2. The history of American currency is filled with fascinating stories, and one of the most iconic coins in circulation is the Lincoln 1-cent penny. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny has undergone several changes throughout the years. Today, we're going to focus on a specific year, 1973. The 1973 Lincoln penny may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but there's much more to it than meets the eye. In this video, we'll explore the history behind the 1973 penny, how the coin's value has evolved, and why some rare 1973 pennies can be worth an extraordinary amount of money. In 1973, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the familiar Lincoln penny, which featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the reverse displaying the Lincoln Memorial. The design itself remained unchanged since 1959, but it was still a coin used in everyday transactions. However, as with any coin, not all 1973 pennies are the same. There are certain variations, minting errors, and other factors that contribute to how much a specific coin might be worth to collectors today. The composition of the 1973 penny is one of the factors that has influenced its value. By the early 1970s, the United States was experiencing a significant increase in inflation, and the cost of materials to mint coins was rising rapidly. As a result, the U.S. Mint shifted away from using pure copper in its coins and began using a copper-plated zinc composition. The 1973 pennies were made from this new material, which helped reduce production costs and made it more affordable to mint the coins. While this change didn't immediately affect the design or look of the penny, it did impact its overall value as a collectible in the long run. But let's talk about what makes the 1973 penny so interesting for coin collectors. Like most coins, there are certain rare versions or error-struck 1973 pennies that have been discovered over time. The most common error that makes certain 1973 pennies so valuable is the double die. This occurs when the coin is struck with the dies misaligned, creating a visible doubling effect in the design. A double die can appear in various places on the coin, most often in the words on the reverse or the date itself. A 1973 penny with this type of error can be incredibly valuable because of how unusual and rare these coins are. Collectors search high and low for these varieties, and they are often willing to pay top dollar to own one. Another reason the 1973 penny might be worth more than its face value is its condition. Like any collectible, the condition of a coin can greatly impact its value. A 1973 penny that has been well preserved and remains in pristine condition, often referred to as uncirculated or mint state, can command a premium price over a typical circulated coin. For those who are new to coin collecting, it's important to remember that the higher the grade or condition of the coin, the more valuable it tends to be. A well-preserved 1973 penny with no signs of wear and tear is much rarer than a penny that has been passed through countless hands over the years. The key to finding a truly valuable 1973 penny lies in understanding how rare and unique certain minting errors or specific variations are. While most 1973 pennies are worth only 1 cent in their standard form, rare examples with double dies or those in perfect condition have the potential to reach prices far beyond what you'd expect. This is where the magic of coin collecting lies, unearthing a small piece of history that can be worth far more than just its face value. Now, you may be wondering, what's the highest price a 1973 penny has fetched on the market? As with any collectible, the value depends on rarity, condition, and demand. For a 1973 penny with a significant minting error or in flawless condition, the price can skyrocket. In fact, certain 1973 pennies have been known to sell for incredible amounts of money. So, just how much is a rare 1973 penny worth? If you're lucky enough to come across a rare 1973 penny in excellent condition or one with an unusual error, it could be worth as much as $88,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $88,000. This staggering sum shows just how much the value of a seemingly ordinary penny can increase when it has a unique feature that sets it apart from the rest. If you find one of these rare pennies, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. In conclusion, while the 1973 Lincoln penny might look like any other penny you'd find in your pocket change, there are some versions of this coin that are truly worth far more than 1 cent. If you ever come across a 1973 penny with a minting error or in pristine condition, be sure to hold on to it because it could be worth thousands of dollars to the right collector. Remember, the world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, and with the right knowledge and a bit of luck, you might just discover your next big find. Top 3. The United States has a long and rich history when it comes to its currency. Among the many coins that have been minted over the years, the Lincoln 1-cent penny stands out as one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American history. The penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, has seen numerous design changes, but the most famous design, featuring Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, remained unchanged for decades. Today, we're going to talk about a specific year that continues to intrigue collectors, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, a 1980 penny might seem like just another coin from the past, tucked away in your change jar or lost in your pockets. However, as we dig deeper into the world of coin collecting, you'll see that certain years, like 1980, hold more value than their face value suggests. While most people are familiar with the standard penny, there are some subtle details about the 1980 version that could make it worth significantly more to collectors, especially those in the know. Let's start by discussing the general context of the 1980 Lincoln penny. This year marked the tail end of the 1970s, a period of significant economic challenges for the United States. Inflation was on the rise, and there were shifts in the cost of materials, particularly for coins. The U.S. Mint continued to use a copper-plated zinc composition for the penny during this time, a material introduced in 1982 to combat the rising cost of copper. The 1980 penny itself, although composed of 95% copper, is still one of the last of its kind before the minting shift fully took place in the early 1980s. Now, as is often the case in the world of numismatics, not all pennies are created equal. While the standard 1980 Lincoln penny may seem relatively common, there are certain factors that can make some of these coins much more valuable. One of the key elements that collectors are on the lookout for is the presence of any minting errors or unusual characteristics that would make a particular penny stand out. One of the most desirable error types in any penny collection is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been misaligned during the minting process, leading to a noticeable doubling effect on the design. For the 1980 penny, this error is incredibly rare, but if you're fortunate enough to find one with this mistake, it could be worth a small fortune. Double die pennies are highly prized by collectors because they're considered to be rare, and their unique appearance makes them stand out among millions of other coins. In addition to the double die error, another factor that can significantly increase the value of a 1980 penny is its condition. Coin condition is critical in determining its worth, and the term used to describe a coin's condition is its grade. Coins that have been well preserved and show little to no wear or damage are considered to be in mint state, which is the highest grade a coin can receive. A 1980 penny in mint state, free from scratches, discoloration, or other signs of handling, can command a premium price among collectors. The better the condition, the more likely it is that the coin will be worth far more than its face value. So, how much can a rare 1980 penny actually be worth? The value of a 1980 penny, like any collectible, depends on several factors, such as rarity, condition, and demand. Most 1980 pennies, found in everyday circulation, are worth only 1 cent. However, the truly rare examples, those with minting errors like the double die or those in pristine condition, can fetch impressive sums. As a result, there are reports of certain 1980 pennies selling for extremely high prices, especially when they meet the criteria collectors are looking for. For instance, a 1980 penny with a significant error or one in perfect, uncirculated condition has been known to reach a value as high as $60,000. Yes, that's right, $60,000. It's hard to imagine that a coin worth only 1 cent at face value could ever be worth so much. But for serious collectors, the rarity and unique features of certain pennies make them highly sought after. If you happen to come across a 1980 penny with an error or in excellent condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. It's incredible to think that something as small as a penny could be worth such a large amount of money. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and sometimes, these treasures can be found in your own pocket change. That's why it's always worth taking a second look at the pennies you come across. You never know when you might find a rare coin that could change your life. In conclusion, the 1980 Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin from the past, but for those who know what to look for, it can be a highly valuable collector's item. Whether it's a rare minting error, such as a double die, or an exceptional condition penny, there are plenty of opportunities to find coins that are worth much more than their face value. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1980 penny with unique characteristics, you could find yourself holding a coin worth as much as $60,000. Top 4. The Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the most iconic and widely circulated coins in the United States. Over the years, this little coin has become a symbol of American history and culture. While most pennies are worth only 1 cent, some versions of the Lincoln penny have gained significant value, especially in the world of coin collecting. One year, in particular, stands out among collectors: 1982. The 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem like a common coin at first glance, but there's more to this small piece of copper than meets the eye. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a historic change to the composition of the penny. Up until then, pennies were made primarily from copper, but with rising costs, the Mint made the decision to change the composition of the penny to a copper-plated zinc mix. This was done to reduce production costs, as the price of copper had been steadily increasing. The change was a big deal in the world of coinage because it marked a shift in the material used for one of the country's most recognizable coins. The 1982 penny was struck in both the traditional copper composition and the new copper-plated zinc mix. This means that in 1982, there were actually two different types of pennies in circulation: copper pennies and zinc pennies. To make matters more interesting, some of the coins were minted with certain errors or unique characteristics that set them apart from regular coins. These factors are what have made the 1982 penny particularly fascinating for collectors. One of the most valuable and sought-after versions of the 1982 penny is the transition penny, which was struck with the copper composition but weighs less than the traditional copper penny. This happened because the U.S. Mint began the process of switching from copper to zinc, and some of the copper pennies were minted with the wrong metal mixture or incomplete copper plating. These transition coins are rare and highly coveted, and if you're lucky enough to find one in your collection, you could be holding a very valuable piece of American history. Beyond the composition changes, 1982 also brought about some significant minting errors that have led to some truly rare and valuable pennies. Minting errors occur when there's a mistake in the production process, and these mistakes can vary from misprints to missing details. The 1982 penny is no exception. Some pennies from this year were struck with errors that make them much more valuable than your average 1-cent coin. For example, one of the most notable errors is the double die variety. This happens when the coin's dies are misaligned, resulting in a visible doubling of the design. In the case of the 1982 penny, this could mean a doubled image of Abraham Lincoln's profile or even a doubled date. Coins with this error are highly sought after by collectors because of their rarity and the distinct look they have compared to regular pennies. Another factor that can significantly affect the value of the 1982 penny is its condition. Coins that are in excellent condition, with little to no signs of wear or damage, are considered uncirculated and are far more valuable than coins that have been through years of circulation. In fact, uncirculated 1982 pennies are often worth more to collectors because they offer a glimpse into a perfectly preserved piece of history. The better the condition, the more likely it is that a coin will fetch a high price. So, how much is a 1982 Lincoln penny worth? While most 1982 pennies found in circulation are worth only their face value of 1 cent, certain rare coins can be worth much more. When it comes to a rare 1982 penny with a significant minting error or one in mint condition, the value can increase dramatically. Some 1982 pennies have been known to sell for thousands of dollars, and even more for those that are extremely rare or in exceptional condition. Now, the big question: how much can one of these rare 1982 pennies actually be worth? After considering factors like rarity, minting errors, and condition, certain 1982 pennies have been known to sell for as much as $54,000. Yes, that's right, $54,000. While the average 1982 penny is worth just 1 cent, if you're lucky enough to find a rare error coin or one in pristine condition, it could be worth a small fortune. In the world of coin collecting, these kinds of finds are what make it so exciting. You never know when you might come across a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Whether you're an experienced collector or simply someone who likes to keep an eye on your change, it's always a good idea to take a closer look at your pennies. After all, you might just stumble upon a hidden treasure. To wrap things up, The 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny may look like any other penny you've seen before, but there's a lot more to this coin than you might think. From the change in its composition to the minting errors that occurred, the 1982 penny is a coin that has captured the attention of collectors for decades. If you come across one of these rare or error-struck pennies, don't just toss it aside. Take the time to see if you've found a piece of history that could be worth thousands of dollars. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the world of coin collecting. Keep your eyes peeled for rare pennies. You never know when you might find one worth as much as $54,000.